Hi everyone, my name is Tiffany. Thanks for joining me today. Today I wanted to talk to you about testosterone. Not testosterone in men, but testosterone in women and the importance of it. I couldn't believe after talking to so many different people how many women and men didn't know that women are supposed to produce testosterone. The reason why I think it's important is because so many elements rely on our hormones. And doctors aren't talking to us about it. I found out from a pamphlet. So I thought I would talk to you about my experience. And then you guys can jump on comments and I will try to answer any questions that you may have. But about 2 years ago, right when COVID hit, I started to get extreme fatigue. I went from where I could work out 5-6 days a week. I work all the time. I'm also a mom, so I was busy pretty much constantly, but I always had the energy for it, so it never felt like a lot to me. Flash forward to COVID. So COVID hits and I start to experience extreme fatigue. A lot of people told me that they just thought it was the long haul of COVID, that's what they were seeing. I was even diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. There was days that I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't play with my kids. So I literally go from 100 to like 0 is how it felt. I was battling with brain fog, depression, and I am not a depressed person at all. I am extremely happy almost all of the time. So to have bouts of depression, I think it was mostly because I didn't feel well, to be honest. It's hard to get up and going when you just don't feel well and you're exhausted all the time. I didn't have a libido anymore. I went from being super frisky to just not really interested and not understanding why my husband would be. So that was an interesting thing that women should talk about too. Forgetfulness, mood swings, my PMS was worse. I started to get extreme aches and pains in my back and my hips that nobody could really explain to me. I wasn't working out, so it wasn't that. I thought maybe it was because I was laying around too much. Anyway, was dealing with all of this, taking handfuls of supplements, just so many supplements to try to feel better, and nothing seemed to be working. Well, my best friend, or one of my best friends, her name, I call her Panda, she went to get Botox done, had a brochure, and the brochure had these questions about brain fog, fatigue, aches and pains. Well, I happened to land on every single one was a yes. So I immediately decided to get my hormones checked. I was able to find a local doctor that's very passionate about hormones. He was well recommended. I went into him, and within a week, I had an answer. So my testosterone level, all my other hormone levels were great. He looked at everything, but my testosterone was at a 6. A normal range for that test was between 15 and 75. So my doctor stated that he has seen women 20 years older than me that didn't have testosterone as low as mine. So when you are diagnosed with low testosterone, there are different options available to you. So there's testosterone creams, there's injectables, and then there's pellet therapy. I opted for the pellet therapy. It's been around since the 1930s. It's a natural base way of getting your testosterone. It's like all plant-based, and it's about like this big, and they insert it in right above my panty line. They could do it in my abdomen, but I didn't want to watch them putting that pellet in there. So I opted for my booty because it just seemed better. You can still feel it. It's kind of freaky, but kind of cool because I like that stuff. I will tell you some of my fears about testosterone was like roid rage, being really aggressive, angry. I didn't want the mood swings. I'm on my second pellet now. I can tell you my testosterone was so low that I did definitely feel a difference, but it didn't take until about 6 weeks. So at 6 weeks, you hit the peak with your pellet. It's when you feel the best. I didn't really feel great until that 6-week mark. I had highs and lows. I had some mood swings, but I think that was to be expected. At my 6-week point, I felt fantastic. I was working out again. My libido was back. Happy husband, happy life. Everything just kind of fell into place. My recovery was better. I didn't have really any signs of the depression anymore. And I just felt great. So I wanted to get the word out because I feel like women aren't being talked to about your hormones. So if you are experiencing fatigue, you have low libido, it is not normal not to want sex. You can get that fixed. But I do recommend finding somebody that is a professional, that is passionate and does really want to help you, and have a conversation with them. Get your blood panel done. I was able to get mine for relatively inexpensive. But I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. I don't want to get too off track. But please, if you're not feeling great, if you are experiencing like you can't lose weight, you're just holding on to the weight, that's another sign your hormones could be off. I am happy to answer any questions. Put it in the comments, and thank you for joining me.